Good morning. Hopefully you guys can see me okay. I've been playing around with this old tree that you can see here in the background. I just really love the energy in this spot. Um, I can't explain it to you. I could show you, but it wouldn't do it wouldn't do it justice. But anyways, just wanted to come to you this morning. I had made a video a couple of days ago and it didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to, so I decided to redo it. It's getting warm out here. Take my jacket. It's like really cold at night, like dropping to the high 30s at night into the low 40s. And then, what is it? I'm not sure what time it is, but by probably, what is it, 9 o'clock in the morning, it's 70 degrees already. So, yeah, we're having that little bit of a change in temperature where it's really, really cold. Getting there anyway, it's going to get colder. And then it gets warm. So, anyways, this is kind of a weird angle. I think I look a little weird, but I don't really care about that because that's not what this is about. I just wanted to get this video out to you just from things that have been on my heart. And the title of this video, as you've probably seen, is Meat Suit 101. And I'm sure we've touched on different things. We've touched on addictions and food substances and attitudes and all kinds of things dealing with ego. But this is another area that has just currently come into play in my vision. And I wanted to share it with you because I've wrestled with it myself in the past, and I've watched others wrestling with it, and have sought Father for answers and things to teach, and to uncover. And this is what I came up with. So hopefully, once again, from my camera view, I'll edit this, but it looks a little bit hazy, like you can't really see me. But anyways, oh, there's the train. Nice. We might even hear some coyotes howl, which will be fun. Okay, so I drew this little picture, and believe me, it's way better than my first picture. I'll hold it up here for you. It's a little, it's way better. The other one was really, really bad, and I don't know, let me see, pull it back a little bit. So basically, it is in reverse, and I apologize for that, but this is like my little cartoon character of the meat suit, which is basically this guy. He's waving to you, saying hello. Because, we're all in the meat suit, right? He is too, and he's happy to see his brothers and sisters this morning, as am I. But anyways, you have on the right side here, and I put it on the right just because of Yeshua, talking about dividing the right from the left. I just figured it would be appropriate. Source, little g God. These two different sides here. This one says Father, Mother, Creation, your true self. And it has written on here Spirit, Christ, Spark, Adma, your divinity. All these parts of your true self. And this is all, you see these little lines that I drew into it. This is all connected here because we are hardwired to this meat suit. So this is connected. This is under our sovereignty and our control. This is our kingdom. This is everything that we are and everything that we have. And then you've got the other side of this venue. Little g God made our suit, our prison cell, if you were, all the cells in our body, which I find that really interesting. It's ego. Over here I put your true self versus your ego. Flesh and the matrix. Once again with the lines, all connected and hardwired via the lovely gift of our, wrong side, of the creators of this cell, this prison cell that we're in this matrix, this meat suit that we are entrapped in. Something's been happening. I drew that little diagram to kind of maybe help anybody who's a visual thinker like I am to see how we have this duality where on one side we've got these connections and on the other side we have these connections. Both within matrix construct rules, both are real, both have an effect. One of them is the kingdom, the part that we are connected to by divine source. Our divinity couldn't be taken away from us. It got split up and put into these prison bodies, but it couldn't be taken away. So we still have that. And Yeshua, as well as many other Christ bearers, have turned over rocks and taught us the truth about how to handle that. But I wanted to draw that little diagram to help you understand something that I have experienced and I've been seeing others experience as we move up on the next level of the scale in this end time that we're in. Spiritual intimacy, which I'm going to go to my notes now that you guys got enough of my goofy little picture. I don't know if it helps, but I'll probably refer back to it again when I'm describing some of this. I've noticed an increase in spiritual intimacy, and probably more of an increase of perception of it more than it actually increasing, because spiritual intimacy is like Father. It's always been there. It's a divine creation. But our perception and our spiritual ability to access this and to interact with other spiritual beings on our journey, the perception has increased. The ability to have this connection has increased. It's a good thing. It's a beautiful and incredible thing. And it's also a necessary thing for these end times, because this intimate connection that we have with the rest of the body of Christ is what is going to give us the connection that we need to bring this game home. Have you recognized this in your own life? Have you noticed that all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you're coming across other beings and you're drawn to them in a particularly strong, unignorable way? Really drawn. Just, yeah, I can't explain it, but just drawn, like it's like being instantly in love with someone. And not just one person, but this is happening all over the place, where I'm making connections with people and I just instantly love them in such a tight and close, beyond anything that I've had as a physical role, as a mother, a wife, a friend, a sister, a child. This just happens and it feels instantaneous, but it even feels stronger than flesh. And of course, our spirits are rising. The flesh is becoming less significant and, hopefully dead. So it makes sense. But I didn't know if this resonates with you, then this information is for you. It's a beautiful and incredible thing. It's amazing, and it's a good thing. There are no taboos in it, none whatsoever. I was going to say something. Okay, do. Okay. I guess I'll just go along with my notes so I don't get myself all confused. Okay, now we're going back to the meat suit. Okay, now this is what I was talking about with this picture here, is this side of us, our true self, our kingdom. These things are all taking place and we're recognizing them. But we've got this other place that we're also wired to. And the meat suit has one way to respond to the spiritual intimacy, and one way only. And it becomes physically aroused, which in the process of finding these new spiritual relationships, which can mean many things, most likely the least of a physical relationship. Possible that it's intended for that. It is possible. But most likely it's some other type of a connection, intimate, personal, strong, created by Father in the truest sense of this intimacy. But there's a problem. It's not a problem that can't be solved, and it's a problem that's being presented as another matrix trick. Your meat suit can only respond with physical arousal to this. And sometimes it won't, depending on where you're at in your spiritual mastery, so to speak, what a hold you have on your kingdom, and how dead your ego is. It will depend on your response. But even in the deadest form of ego, I have found that my body might still respond. Similar to it responding when I'm hungry, my stomach growls. When I'm cold, I shiver and I get goosebumps. The meat suit does what the meat suit's going to do. It's limited. It can only respond certain ways because it's limited. It was made by little g God. It was not made by, the building parts were made by Father, but this thing that was constructed for us to be imprisoned in was not made by, it was made in ignorance. So it can only respond one way. And I'm finding, from my perspective, that this is becoming a difficult problem for some people, because, once again, going back to making sure that you go into your kingdom to find everything that needs to be addressed, and not going outside of the kingdom to find it. If you have any holes inside of you, anything that's empty, anything that needs filling, kingdom first, then all shall be added to you. If we usurp that little step, don't even maybe realize we're doing it, and there's a hole, there's a little empty space in there somewhere. As soon as you feel that physical sensation that we're all accustomed to, we've been raised on this planet in this body. We know what it feels like to have joy and physical pleasure, and that sense of, being in love, so to speak, in our bodies. We know it. We love it. It's very pleasant. It's not an unpleasant sensation at all. And we've come to understand it as being a guidepost is to something happening between you and another individual, something significant. In the Matrix, it means that you're falling in love with someone and that there's a relationship beginning to build and you pursue it to whatever end. Sometimes it's a lifelong relationship, sometimes it turns out to just be an affair. But we all know that sensation. This is how the meat suit responds to this spiritual intimacy, when the intimacy has nothing to do with the Matrix in the first place. But you see, sexual frequency mirrors true spiritual intimacy. It's where we get this whole idea from on this planet, in this Matrix, because the original, our Father, our Creator, this intimacy comes from Him, and it's a natural state of being as we are all connected to one another through Him, in Him, of Him. The Cabal wants this power. The negatives, the archons, the demons, the evil, the duality, the negative duality, whatever you want to call it, whatever feels comfortable for you. The opposite side of the duality wants this energy. It's a very, very powerful energy, and if they can usurp it and use it for their own benefit, it's got a wallop to it that other frequencies don't. So they can't stop this intimacy from happening. It's just like they can't hold the Adma down from Father. They cut it up to keep it from being powerful, but they couldn't stop it, because each one of these cuts, every time they separate it, it's still a perfect hologram of Father. So they can't stop it, and they know it, but they can use this duality that we have in our meat suit, both sides. They can usurp it. And then once they take that energy that comes from this spiritual intimacy, which is powerful and wonderful, and if it does end up being in a physical relationship that isn't actually, written in the storyline for your mission, that's really powerful, because that intimacy creates something incredible. But what their attempt is here is, see, you have both sides. Kingdom, Matrix. When this spiritual intimacy occurs, we have to be very mindful to pay attention to the fact that this only responds one way, regardless of what this connection is intended for. This could be multifaceted when it comes from Source and from our kingdom. There's many reasons it could be taking place, and you can bet that if you're sensing it, it's taking place because it's supposed to. What the negatives want is to get a hold of this. So when your spirit goes showing, I know, terrible term, but you get what I mean, right? Then the physical response is showing. And just like all other egoic flesh responses, if you follow this, it will lead you to using that beautiful spiritual intimacy to support the battery system of the Matrix, as opposed to supporting this mission that we're on, this end game, this tribulation that we're in. So I just wanted to bring that to you in a visual way to show you that this is, once again, seek first the kingdom, and then all these other things will be added to you. So when this proposes itself to you, you have this spiritual connection with someone, male, female, otherwise, doesn't matter, this other entity. Be mindful, take all your thoughts captive, and only seek the kingdom. Anytime anything occurs, you should go within. Always, always, always. Someone irritates you, they make you angry, you feel a frustration, anything happens, it's never about what's going on out there. It's about in here. Go in, go in, go in. And then follow your heart in that, your true spiritual heart, because then you will be led in the right direction. And that spiritual connection could be simply that, only a spirit connection on this side of the veil. And it stays, and it's useful, and it gives you whatever you need for the next steps in your mission. Or it could very well be something more than that. It could actually be a connection that you are supposed to be connected. It could be that one individual that your, divine masculine or divine feminine has been longing for. Absolutely positive that it could be that. But be very, very careful. And always go within, which it's the same message. It's over and over and over again. Seek first the kingdom within. Do not seek any comfort, any pleasure, anything inside of you that feels void. Do not seek it outside in this matrix, because every single scenario that is presented to you is presented in order to keep you being a good little battery and not being on mission. So that, I think, is it. Let me go over my notes real quick. Ignore it. Die to this flesh. Once again, it's a death to the flesh. So I think that's it. It's pretty simple. Uh, Very short. This is 14 minutes. The first one I did was way longer than this, and it just was too much information. I thought it was too much, and I didn't want people to get confused. This is a very little bit of information. A little bit of update. Really appreciate all of the love and the prayers and the energies going forth from everybody who hears Father's voice through me. Had some ups and downs. I was supposed to start employment last week. Um, did not hear back from the original job that I had went in an interview for that went really well. I just assumed that, that it wasn't going to happen. Another job came my way and I jumped on it, and it turned out to not be the scenario that I needed. And then out of nowhere, just 2 days ago, the person that I interviewed with at the original job that was very well suited for me called me and said, "Are you ready to start?" So a fantastic, wonderful, good news. Great. I'm so happy to be able to have the resource, and whatever else happens, lots of probably spiritual connections involved in that as well, appointments that are divine. But yeah, so I'm starting next week in the middle to the late part of the week, and it'll be great. But unfortunately, we find ourselves where we've used up all our resources to the point where we don't have any resources left, and I'm still looking at 2 weeks, at least 2 weeks before I get a paycheck, which is fine. And I don't like doing this. I really don't. My channel's not monetized. It never will be. I don't agree with that. This isn't about resources at all for me, but I've also been in a process of learning how to ask when I'm in that position. I don't mind giving. I'll give everything. I will do whatever it takes to give. I do struggle with asking, and it is difficult for me, but Father let me know again that there are those out there that lives are touched by what he has given me to give them. And I work night and day constantly. He sees the work that I do. It is my constant focus. I never focus on anything else anymore. I know why I'm here. And so until I get cracking on this job, we are in a position where I told you the temperatures are getting really low, and without fuel, it's very difficult to stay warm. And so we just have a few resources that are still vacant. And if it's on your heart to do something about that, great. If not, seriously, only listen to your internal kingdom. Go within, do what your kingdom shows you to do. And if it says, nope, this is not for me, then don't, by all means, please, because I know that I want this to be exactly what Father has in mind for all of us. So I'm going to post my PayPal link again. I'm going to put a little note with it that I don't monetize this channel, because maybe some people think that that's a possibility, but I don't, and I never will. I totally agree with our brother Derek. I don't even like asking for help. But in a pinch, I guess I am supposed to. And anyways, I just want to thank you for even hearing me, and please, whatever you do, keep the frequencies coming, the love. I feel it. I feel the support. I feel how, I feel that connection, that beautiful spiritual connection, and I really appreciate it. And it's a beautiful day. As you can see, it's gorgeous out here. I just wanted to come out to this tree. I just love this old tree. I don't know why, but I just do. And make my video and tell you that I love you, and I'm looking forward to the next time Father puts something on my heart to speak to you. I hope you have a really great day, and thank you for also putting forward the prayers for the resources to come, because this position is going to be just right. It's really close. There's just lots of things about it that are exactly perfect. So I'm really thankful for that and grateful. So thank you for sending all that my way. Love you, and have a great day, and I will talk to you again soon.